make sure the sound works. Good. Okay, so Diane, thank you for being here. I know
Oh, you're welcome.
talking earlier on the phone and we were talking about the retreat, and I just thought, and we both were talking about how it would be nice to hear a different perspective, like even from a student. So I know that you, along with the other students, gave testimonials at the retreat, but I just wanted them to hear just maybe your reservations that came up for you before joining and just your whole experience.
Well, it's funny. My journey kind of started at the beginning of 2017 was my first development class, and it was 8 weeks. And then during like early summer, that's when I just happened to stumble upon your video. And it just resonated with me. And then I signed up and I took the Unlock Your Inner Medium course in September. So I think we were about halfway through when you announced the retreat was coming for the following April. And I remember the first time you mentioned it, I was like, oh God, I have to go. Like I really had this burning feeling in my soul that I really needed to go. So of course that was the first day. And then it was about a week, I was on that, I really was. And I'm going back and forth because then all of a sudden doubts creep in and I'm like, and I had a million excuses. It's like, oh, do I want to spend the money?
Yeah.
Do I want to take time off from work? Am I really going to get anything out of it? I've never been on a retreat. I don't know anybody. I have a million and one food allergies. What on earth was I going to eat there? Like, was I going to starve for the weekend? I just had a lot of reservations, and I'm going back and forth. It was a good week, and I like probably most people, I was definitely on the fence. I had more reasons why I shouldn't be going than why I should be going.
Yeah.
And then it was coming down. I think it was just a few days before we really had to make a decision if who was gonna go or not. And I remember waking up and I'm in the bathroom and I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm kind of like, I think it's about time I did something for myself. I have never, ever done anything for myself. It's always been for my family, my husband, my children. I always took a seat back to everybody. I never did anything for myself. I felt bad going for a manicure and a pedicure sometimes. It was like, everything always came ahead. And I said, for the first time in my life, I'm going to do something for myself. I'm going to invest in myself. The other thing too was that I really took a lot of time and energy and money invested in my development.
Yeah.
And I really had this nudge that I really could really do this, and I could really help people. And that was really like a burning feeling in my soul that I was really meant to do this work. But I was so new at it. And then I'm thinking, well, if I get down there, I don't think I'm as good as anybody else. And I don't know if I can even keep up because I'm pretty sure everybody's like ahead of me. And then this was a big deal. I'm like, well, I'll wait for next year to come.
Yes.
And then I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm going to be still in the same boat next year. I'm probably making up more excuses. So I just made that decision. And I have to tell you, it was late. It was like, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night or something. And I'm on the computer and I'm like, am I clicking it or not? And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it. And I did. And
I'm so happy you were there.
It was just about, I was late. So maybe we have maybe 2 months to go. And then now I'm like, oh my God, I'm really going. Like, I really got to make these plans. And I was very nervous. I was, because it's the unknown. You just don't know, and I'm such an introvert. And if I don't feel comfortable, it's just, where am I going? Where am I sleeping? It's a lot of, things that you're thinking about. So that morning I got on the plane, which was fine. And I used to travel for my job. So it wasn't like I was afraid to travel, but this is the first time I'm really doing something for myself. So I got down there, and I made arrangements with Martina. So that was good too, because in our group, in that Facebook page, we were able to, well, whose flights are coming in, and then we kind of carpooled with the shuttle.
Yep.
So I waited for Martina. So when we got to the house, we were the last people to come into the house. And so I remember uh, Lindsay had met us outside, and I remember I walked up the stairs, and as I'm walking into the house, this feeling just overcame me. It was just like the house was giving me this huge hug. It kind of brought me to tears, I have to say. It was just, I got like goosebumps, and as I'm just walking in, I had that feeling like my life was going to change. I didn't know how or what was going to happen, but this was going to be a life-changing experience. And of course, we met everybody, and of course, Tony was there, and it was just like family. I hadn't met anybody, and it was just everybody just hugged and kissed, and it was just wonderful. And then we had dinner, and of course, Natalia. I mean, what can you say about her, right? So she's the chef. She is she's spiritual herself. She kind of, I don't know how she comes up with these recipes. Now, as I had said, I have 1,000,001 things going on here. I can't eat like a million things. So she came to me before dinner, and she had my list. I think I had the longest list in the whole
yes,
group.
Everyone has a food form.
And I said, well, listen, because I'm so used to it. I'm like, don't worry about it. I don't have to eat that much. And she's like, no, I have it all set up. And sure enough, she cooked for all of us.
Yes.
But it was a spiritual experience having the meals. It was like the love that was put into it. And she was so creative. And then we had dinner, and it was just, it was almost like a spirit circle, wouldn't you think?
I know, I felt like it was actually, now that you say that.
The energy and it was just like everybody's just talking about, introducing themselves, where they come from, and, what point in their development there are. So when I finally went to bed that night, I felt so good. I knew that feeling that I originally had when you told me about the retreat was definitely spot on. It's like it's your gut. It's just your instinct, and it said yes to me. And, and of course you're coming out of your comfort zone. So once you come out, it's like you're stepping into another dimension. It's almost like you're stepping through fear, because a lot of it is just fear, the unknown.
That's so true.
Right. So the next morning we got up, and Lindsay's very good. She's very structured. Mm-hmm. And we had each time we had something else to do was scheduled. And then Mark David was there. And honestly, I have no idea anything about sound healing. I don't even know anything about any of it. But all the girls told me that I should have this private session with him. And I wasn't going to be bothered, because I'm like, well, we're doing a group thing. What do I need a private thing for? But they all took me into it. And I said, all right. He was phenomenal. Oh my God.
Everyone for this year's retreat, everyone that's already signed up for the retreat has got the private session with him too.
Oh, definitely. I think that helped, because we did that first, pretty much. I think that just opened me up more. I saw colors. I didn't even know these colors existed, when he started. And then the private session was, he really tailors it to you, and he kind of looks at you and he sums you up, and it's like funny. It's like, well, you have to, because you're on the bed, you have to lay this way and that way, and I'm going to got this or that. I have to tell you, it was amazing. It was just amazing. I think that's what started my whole journey, was that. And then we went through our sessions, and of course, Tony had his own session. That was, all of us are empaths anyway. I mean, it's hard to control. It's grounding ourselves. It's hard to control our feelings, our emotions, but that was great. And then we did
what else did we do next? I know, I'm trying to go back in time.
Oh, we did the blindfold.
Oh, yes.
Exercises. Oh my God. There was stuff I didn't even know I really could do.
Yes.
But.
And what about the time with So some people that are on the fence thinking, oh, do I have enough time by myself to
Oh, yes. Now, the other thing too is Lindsay's going to tell you to bring a journal,
yes.
you know, and start. I never ever kept a journal. I never, I never thought to do it. I'm just not. I didn't think I was good at it, but I did, and bring a picture, a baby picture, so stuff. So I started journaling on the flight down, and how I was feeling, how nervous I was, and I was a little scared, and all this stuff. And then throughout the day, after each exercise, you'd have Natalia would come with a little snack. Then we had lunch, and then you'd have your private time, and then you go back into your room. You could either take a nap or lay down, and just.
I hope you could just making sure they can see me. Sorry, I pressed it so I could see if someone was asking questions. Keep on going, though.
And then and since that day, I now I'm hooked. I'm journaling.
Oh, are you still doing it?
Yeah,
Good.
I found it so freeing, and I was just whatever my feelings were and how I was feeling and what was happening. But my development during that weekend just kind of went up. I want to say 2 levels, because I honestly believe it was. There was stuff Lindsay brought out during her exercise and stuff that I was like, she tapped into like different areas of mediumship that I didn't even know, again, that if I could do, or I didn't know too much about it, but she explains everything, and you partnered with everybody else, you had turns with everybody else.
And I love that time where you guys got to practice, because I could get right in there and experience what you were going through, even though we do it online, but being in person and being able to move the chairs around and go outside and just do different things. I love.
It's the energy. I can't, it's something about that house.
I know.
And it's the energy. It was like, I don't know, the connection into spirit was so quick, and it came, it was fluid. We did the gallery. Now I was scared to death to do a gallery reading. But listen, I was the first one to raise my hand.
Oh, you were. I forgot about that.
I was, right? I was like, I'll go first.
Yes,
I had confidence I didn't even know I had. I really felt that, you know what, I could really do this. I felt confident in myself, and then when we would sit around for dinner again, it was like we were just talking about how the day was and how we were feeling. And then all of a sudden I'm started asking, when do you know, like, when you should do this professionally? Like, how do you know? So I'm going around asking everybody, like, how do you do all this stuff? And then I think you and Tony we were at the table. Maybe we're having our snack, I don't know. And I'm like, well, how did you guys decide to do this? All of a sudden the light bulb goes on. Tony's talking to me about it. And after we had that, it was just Tony was just telling me about his experience, and then Lindsay was telling me about hers when she found that she decided that it was time to quit teaching and to move on. I just had this, it was like a lightning bolt went through me, and I was like, oh my God, it's time.
Yeah, I had goosebumps everywhere when you talk about it again.
It's time. And because Tony kept saying to me, Diane, you keep asking me about this. I go, I know, I'm trying to figure this out. So like all of a sudden it was like energy came through me, and I was like, I said, oh my God, I think this is it. So
how long were you at your job? I know you told me, but for other people, for that same job, you were there for a while.
Right? 10 years, yeah.
And you just knew that.
And for my personality, I would never have, my original thought was I would just probably do this part-time, never, I would never quit my job ever. Like, this is just so not me. Because I'm cautious. I think about it. I'm a big thinker. So I'm always planning, and I would never put myself in a position where, I would have no money, or, like this was just out of the ordinary. And then, Sunday, Sunday comes, we still have our, we do our meditations. Oh, you had a Reiki circle. That was amazing. We had a healing.
Oh yes, I forgot. I'm thinking. I'm like, oh yeah, we did have a Reiki circle. I did Reiki on you guys in that
Hmm.
house, like being in that room with all the windows and the energy.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
And then we had the barn fire outside. Oh my God.
which they'll
That,
know when they get. I won't say exact. We won't say what it entailed, but the energy behind it. Were you gonna say?
oh my God.
I
It
know.
was it was amazing. I can't even do, yeah, you have to be there. It's hard to explain it, because it's life changing.
That's
Um,
you're making me relive the retreat. Like I daydream about it. Like I can't wait to be back with my students. But that's why I wanted you to talk about it too. And I've actually been thinking about this a while, even before we got on the phone today. Tony and I were talking about it because I feel like you do a good job of explaining what it's like. And I, as a teacher, I could go on and on about how life changing it is, like even for me, but a student's perspective of what you're feeling before actually booking it, or when you're on the border, like, should I wait till next year? I think that's the point where I can't guide people past that point because you have to really feel that feeling like you were sharing, you know?
so let me tell you what happened here. So I go home. Now, mind you, it was just a weekend.
Yeah.
It's not like you're there for 2 weeks. It's a short amount of time when you're thinking about it, right? Because it was Friday to Monday. I
Right.
come home, I get off that plane. My husband is waiting for me because he was going to pick me up, and I didn't even get in the car. And I'm like, I have to quit my job. It's time. He's like, what? What happened?
Why did you?
It was life changing. And now I'm just, it's like I found my voice. I think that was the big thing. Like I had, the passion was there and I found my voice and I'm explaining what I want to do. And I had a vision. I left there with a vision. I walked in there with nothing and I
Yeah.
came out. I really came out a different woman, a new woman, I have to tell you. Um, so now I get home and that was it. I I had already made up my mind, and I was going forward with. There was no doubts. I had a lot of self confidence in myself. Meanwhile, I didn't know how I was going to do anything, but I really,
But
and
you
I did. I went back in there and I gave my notice. These They couldn't believe it. They were shocked,
and
and they
it
kept
gives me
talking me
goosebumps each
out
time
of it. Um, and as the time was going on, because I gave them more, because the way my job was, it was going to be hard to fill it, and I had to, it was, I had an intricate part in this company.
yeah.
So my leaving was going to be a loss to them. Not that I wasn't replaceable, I definitely was, but in the interim of it. So I gave them more than 2 weeks, and I'll give you more money. I'll do this. What do you want? No, I don't want anything. I found my path now. This is what I've been meant to do. And I'm going to go ahead and I was full steam ahead. I got my website. I developed the website. I started putting myself out there, getting connections. I started doing readings. And then the flow started. So I've taken everything, all of Lindsay's class. The business class really helped me too, because it's hard. How do you work this business? How do you even get going with this?
Start.
Um, and then my goal this past year was to do a platform reading, and to really get myself out there. And it was funny. Matina helped me. She was the woman that I met there, and everybody I met there were like family.
I know it was the first time you guys all were together too.
Yeah, all of us. We didn't even know any of us. So Matina came. She lived in St. Louis. She flew into New York to help me with this. And this is what happens when you're in a group setting with like-minded people and caring and helping each other. We all helped each other, and we still do to this day. And she came in, and we took the platform, the advanced meeting, which is platform.
Yeah.
And I really just got me that I really was able to get out there, and it went really well. And I felt confident, and I was grounded, and it just flowed. Everything was good. Everything you taught me went right, it just resonated and it was flawless, the whole thing.
I
So now, here's a year later, if I had listened to myself last year and said, oh, I don't know, I can't go, I don't know, I want to do, blah, 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 and
yeah.
I was still on the fence, look at all the things that happened to me in this one year because I went on this retreat. And I found my inner self. I found myself. I'd be still sitting there on the fence thinking, oh, maybe next year. So I have to tell you, if you're on the fence, you're there for a reason. So spirits put you there. Now, I truly believe fear was more coming through, my fear and my anxiety about, getting myself pushed over to the other side of the fence. But, somebody always told me that once you get through fear and it's like a wall. Once you pass through fear, it's like paradise on the other side. There's
That's
so many gifts for you once you get past your fear. But all you have to do is make that one step. And that one step is just to get over that fence and to make the commitment, because you're really making a commitment for yourself.
yeah.
And I did it for myself. It's the first time I've done something for myself, and it was just life changing. And if you get a chance to go on the website, because I did the testimonial,
Oh,
and I'm in tears because that's how life changing. I mean, that was coming from my heart. I walked out of there. I was like, I'm just somebody else. Like I felt like I was reborn. Like it was a rebirth almost, you know. And here I am today. So I'm booked up. I'm doing healings. I'm an animal communicator too. I'm a crystal healer. I'm a Reiki master. And I have to say, it's all because of Lindsay. Lindsay has gotten me the confidence and the level that, and I don't want to speak for all of her students, but I would say majority of them is after you take all her classes, you get to that professional level that you are confident to go out and do what you're supposed to be doing. What you're meant to be is to serve spirit and to help everybody. There's a lot of people out there that need a lot of healing, and their souls are just so broken, and they can't even find joy anymore because of certain things that have happened, trauma and traumatic events that they need this healing.
And I want you to share too. Thank you, Diane. Like everything that you're saying, I'm so glad that you're here because you can put things into words, and I'm thankful. I love
it's a feeling,
Yes, but I want you to share with them before. Libba just said, one of my students, she said, wow, Diane, your experience is amazing. Thank you for sharing here. So people are on here kind of commenting too. And if it's okay, I might even share this to my main page after. Is that
of course. Yeah, definitely.
Um,
we need more light workers.
We do. We need people to be
out there. Yeah, and don't be afraid. Don't come out of your comfort zone. But Lindsay's going to help you come out of your comfort zone. And she's going to let you bloom. It's like, I feel like I was like a bud or maybe a seedling. I don't even know. And then you get to be, the bud. And then the retreat, I feel like I've just bloomed. Like,
I feel like even when I attend the retreat, even though I'm like facilitating it, I feel like I grow there. Like, Tony, on the way back from the retreat, I'm just like, I don't even know how to describe what happens to me as a teacher being around everyone, because I feel like everyone's constantly learning, but there's something that changes being in the room with everyone together with the same intention.
Definitely.
So what would you say to someone and before we go, tell us your website now in case if someone's listening, whether they're in the New York area or they're online. Tell us that. It's
DianeWillshare.com.
Okay, perfect. I want to make sure. Okay, so you are in Long Island area.
I'm in Massapequa.
Yes, and you do things online, and then also you work with parents that are grieving.
Oh, yes. I have We have a group, it's called Helping Parents Heal, and it's for parents who have lost their child. And it started 2 years ago. I started it in my house, and just really quick, it's a beautiful story. When my first development class, there was a girl that I went to high school with, and I hadn't seen her since we graduated, and she had lost her daughter to bone cancer. Um, she was 14 when she passed. So we hadn't gotten together to practice. So if the class was over, she asked me for a reading, and her daughter came through during the reading, and she wanted us to start this spirit circle. And I would do a guided meditation. And there's a wonderful sound healer, Jaj. She was trained by Mark David, and she's a professional cellist too. So she does the music for my guided meditation. And in the guided meditation, the parent meets up with their child. It's just a beautiful journey. And we meet once a month, and it's such a healing experience because there's so many parents out there, especially now with the especially in our area, we have suicide. We have a high rate of suicide, and of course the overdose addiction.
Yes.
Drug addiction, overdoses. So it's been good. It's been 2 years now. Now we moved it into a church. We have to, because it's grown now. So I've been doing that. So, and from that, just other things just pop up. Once you start giving and giving your time, I think time is a big thing.
That's so true. And Diane, you have a guided meditation on your website too, right?
I do, yes. What I did was I posted all of the guided meditations from each month. So it's a beautiful journey each month, and I channel it. So the children come, and the Virgin Mary comes to me, and she gives me the meditation, and then I channel it out. So each month is a new meditation. Yeah, it's interesting. It's I can't even explain how she comes to. She just comes, and I'm like in a trance, and I just type it out. She gives me the whole thing, And
it's actually at the retreat, Diane shared some of the Blessed Mother channeled messages from the Blessed Mother, and I love her so much. And we all had goosebumps everywhere when we were listening to the messages that you get from Mother Mary. And it's so powerful and so beautiful. And one day you'll have to come on my podcast, me and Tony's podcast, to really talk in detail about that, because I'd like to talk to you more about it, because I know you have so many good things coming out.
Because she takes care of the children when they come over.
Yes, she takes care of the kids, and that's what's so. I have goosebumps even.
I know, so do I. I have like a chill.
But I wanted you to share that with them as a side note. And the last thing I just want to kind of put out there, if someone's thinking, well, what if I'm not sure if I'm supposed to do this work forever? Would the retreat even be beneficial to me? Or what if I'm on the fence and I'm trying to decide? I know you said a lot today, but is there any last line or two that you want to say beforehand?
I think, like for me, as soon as I heard about the retreat and I had that inner knowing that I really needed to be there, it was almost like Spirit was nudging me. And at that time, I didn't even realize that was the nudge. But and that's when I ended up on the fence. So I truly believe if you're sitting on the fence, Spirit has put you on the fence. And you wouldn't be there unless Spirit wanted you to be there. And you wouldn't be doing this work unless you're really meant to do it. Now, obviously, you don't have to do it your whole life. But at least for now, you've been called. It's a calling. And it's like God's calling you. And but you need to take the step to get really into your soul and into, your purpose, your soul's purpose on, should I continue? Am I able to do this? Do I want to do this? But it's soul searching. That's what a retreat is. It's taking time for yourself, and it's soul searching. And then Lindsay helps you sort that all out, because, you're with her for these days. And if you have any questions or you're not sure, she can guide you through the process. Like I wasn't sure. Can I do this? Should I quit my job? And it's just a guidance. It's just that it's somebody there who's like-minded, who can listen to you and understand how you're feeling, the fear She's been there. She knows.
I've been through, oh, I remember crying over, like pulling my hair out over certain things, even when it came to down to trying to figure out like managing my time and
Yes.
that sort of thing.
Hmm.
So that's why I feel like I have a passion for this is bringing
Yes.
people together because I want them to know it doesn't have to be a lonely road. It could actually be supportive and fun and loving.
Yes.
And like you
Yes.
and Bettina are so close, just meeting each other and being able to do different events together and talking, it just makes me happy that my students are like very good friends and they're like family now. And I love that.
Oh, yeah. And it's a connection you will never lose.
Yeah, that's true.
These these women, we are still connected and we help each other out.
Yeah. And
And because you're gonna have bad days, you're gonna have self doubts. I sometimes I still do. It's like, oh my God, can I do this? But this is where your community helps you. That we're a community and we're supposed to help each other. And I think this is the start of it is listen, you got to this point because you have some passion for it. You wouldn't be doing this. You wouldn't be spending the money to take the classes and stuff if you didn't have some sort of a passion for it. So you already have the nudge. So
that's
you're already there. It's just blossoming. And the retreat is really for you. Take some time for you. I had a million excuses too. But once you get there and it's all about you, you don't have to worry about the phone. You don't have to worry about who's bothering you, what do you got to do, errands, whatever, shopping. It's not about, it's, you're in one area. You don't have to, once you're in that house, you don't leave.
no.
The beach is right there. You can walk, the water's there. There's a pool. It's just, it's amazing. It's an amazing experience for you.
Yeah.
So it's take the time for you. It's time for you to experience stuff for yourself.
Diane, thank you. I appreciate
Oh, you're welcome.
sharing your viewpoint of the experience as a student.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be helpful for people that are trying to, decide, should I wait? Should I do it? And Bettina's here too.
You won't regret it. I promise you. I promise you.
Oh, and Bettina said to describe if you were hesitant before Mark's healing. Did you feel hesitant at one moment? Okay.
He was there, you know. I said, if I do this, what is it going to do to me? Oh my God. What is this bowl thing going to do for me?
Yeah.
Reiki I could understand. Crystal healing I could get. But what the heck with the bowls? What is all that about? But I have to tell you, it's, oh my God.
I know.
He does the chakras. He takes the cords. Oh my God. I had some more stuff going on than I think most people. And he explained to me all out. I'm telling you, I think this is what helped me make my own, just, opening up and blossoming so I can make my decision, like what I wanted to do. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Diane, thank you so much for taking the time out to talk.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll talk soon. We'll be in touch. Okay. So thank you, Diane.